Happy lunch hour, guys. Okay, so I want to again dispel the big lie of why climate change and renewable energy and all this sort of stuff. Okay, and over and over and over again, if you dig into it and do a little bit of research, you'll realize we are all being lied to line the pockets of these globalists, these elitists, these World Economic Forum followers, whatever it would be. It has nothing to do with saving the planet. It has everything to do with making them rich and us poor. Okay? And yes, believe it or not, I can do it with facts again. The one thing that scares a liberal away more than anything else, quicker than anything else, is a fact. Okay. So let's go into what's going on in Germany. All right. And I mean, I don't have to tell you too much about this. You guys know it's in the news. We've talked about it. Every channel's talked about it left and right. Uh, Germany is panicked because it's winter's coming and we have no way to heat our homes. So a month ago you saw the firewood runs and people buying firewood and paying through the freaking nose. I mean, over $1,000 for a cord of firewood in some spots. And now there's no firewood left. Sure, you can go out and cut down a tree, but it's green wood. It's not going to be seasoned. It's not going to make for good firewood. So now, apparently, what you have is the German population buying electric space heaters. Okay. And supposedly, 600,000 space heaters have been purchased so far this year around Germany. That's wonderful. The problem is space heaters, as you guys know, aren't exactly what you call efficient. The electricity still has to come from somewhere, right? And, Germany's in dire straits because the power grid is going to collapse, kind of like ours here in the States if you put too much burden on it. And this is the only way that people have to heat their homes. Everybody goes, well, what are my options? Well, I can't get gas and there isn't firewood. And, so we'll use electricity. And they keep forgetting the most obvious one. Okay. But I won't say forgetting. They keep ignoring the most obvious one. And I'll get to that. But so the excuse we hear in the news over and over and over again, the running excuse for 6+ years now is Russia, Russia, Russia. It's all Russia's fault that Germany's going to freeze this winter. Okay. I want you to look at this chart. This is the source of energy, the share of the sources of energy that Germany gets in the first half of 2022. They're going to blame Russia and the natural gas, right? I want you to look at that. 14.6% of their energy comes from natural gas. Okay? 46.4% comes from renewables, and they're having problems. Comes from wind and solar, right? It's not a lack of natural gas. It's that renewable energy on a large scale doesn't work. They won't admit that. So they're going to blame Russia in the natural gas. They get more energy from hard coal and lignite, which is brown coal, soft coal, than they do from natural gas. Okay? It's not the gas problem. It's a stupidity problem, okay, that Germany's got. You go into some of the reasons. Germany still heats 90% of their homes and businesses with oil and gas. Why is the question? Okay, electricity's not the answer. All right, a third of Germany's energy consumption goes into heat. I mean, whether it's heating water or heating your house, your business, or whatever it is. All right. What they refuse to use, and this is what drives me absolutely insane, is geothermal energy. I mean, how many of y'all have a heat pump in your house? And that's how you do it. You're getting again, it kind of goes back to how a root cellar works. Okay, about 6 feet under, why you're buried 6 feet under. About 6 feet under, the temperature stays constant throughout the entire year, somewhere in that high 50-degree range, okay? Regardless whether it's the dead of winter or it's the heat of summer. Now, sure, I know somebody's going to say, well, I live at the North Pole and it freezes down to 6. Deal with it, okay? I'm talking about 99% of the populated Earth, okay? It doesn't freeze down to 6 feet. A third of Germany's landmass is ideal for deep geothermal energy. The entire country is good for shallow geothermal energy. Shallow thermal energy, geothermal energy, is what you use in your home heat pump, okay? 6 feet. Deep geothermal is, obviously what you'd have the electric company, the heat company, the gas company, whatever do, all right? In Germany, geothermal counts for 0.1% of the country's heating and cooling. Can you call this a massive failure of thinking? I could, okay? Even the shallow, the home-based geothermal is only 1.2% of the country. So people are going out and spending money on space heaters of some sort that are inefficient, going to be very expensive because of electricity, and aren't going to do the job. When if you want to do the job, go put a heat pump in, okay? It's about $7,000 for a house. Ain't ridiculously expensive, okay? Yes, it still needs electricity to run the fan to blow the cold air or the hot air, because it'll work in both seasons throughout the house, but you can do that off of your little portable solar generator. Just saying, okay? Now, the snowflakes will come out and say, oh, but there's problems with geothermal energy, that it's not emissions free. It contains gases, nitrogen and carbon dioxide. Oh, really? What's that other thing you keep bitching about not being able to get from Russia? Fertilizer, nitrogen, urea, okay? Gee, here's another way to get it yourself, okay? Carbon dioxide, the stupidest thing that people say, oh my God, carbon dioxide. Okay, what do you exhale, people? You inhale oxygen, you exhale carbon dioxide. What do plants inhale? Plants inhale carbon dioxide and exhale oxygen, okay? That's how it works. Without carbon dioxide, there's no plant life on Earth. If there's no plant life on Earth, there's no human life. I'm just telling you, carbon dioxide is a necessity for human life, okay? We create it too, right? But I'll give you this. On the plus side of geothermal, okay, it's an extremely clean energy source, which all these climate activists want, okay? It's infinite in volume, all right? It's not going to go away. It's a renewable source, okay? And like I said earlier, not only can it generate heat, but it can also generate cooling, air conditioning, okay? It's a consistent source of energy. It's always about 57 degrees underneath the Earth, about 6 feet deep, always. You don't need a sunny day. You don't need a windy day to generate the energy. And it doesn't cost millions of dollars to build one windmill or to put up a small solar farm. Okay? To build a full-size, deep geothermal plant is somewhere between 50 and 60 million bucks. In the big scheme of things, guys, that's cheap, okay? And your resources that you need to use are free, okay? You don't have to pay anybody to dig geothermal energy like you do coal. You don't have to pay anybody to pump geothermal energy like you do oil or natural gas. You don't need to build pipelines or anything like that, because it all comes in one spot and you convert it to whatever electricity that you need, however you do that, and gee, off and running you go. But the German population won't deal with that. They don't want that. Because why? This goes back to where I say it's all lies. It doesn't pad the pockets of the Solyndras of the world. So therefore, it doesn't make the Klaus Schwab's money. It doesn't make the now King Charles money. It doesn't fit the narrative for the Bill Gateses of the world. It's a free resource that is absolutely infinite that they refuse to tap into. We've been doing geothermal on a household basis in the United States for 4 or 5 decades. 1.2% of the households in Germany have, right? Stop listening to all this crap, or I mean, not you guys, but I wish the public would stop listening to all this crap of Russia, Russia, Russia. No, this is the chant should be stupidity, stupidity, stupidity. You hitched your wagon to something that's going to pad your pockets, not help the people. If you wanted to help the people, you'd have used something like geothermal energy, which is a lot more efficient, a lot more climate friendly, if that was what your true aspirations were, and a lot freaking cheaper. And then you wouldn't be panicked about your country freezing to death this winter. You wouldn't be paying somewhere between the equivalent of $120 to $150 a barrel of oil to generate electricity. You wouldn't have people freaking out about there's not enough firewood, there's not enough electricity. Hey, you wouldn't have 70% of the businesses looking to file bankruptcy like Great Britain. Oh yeah, guys in the UK, geothermal energy works there too. Okay. Guys in the United States, hey, yeah, geothermal energy works here too. You want to do things right? You use everything. You want to use solar power? Solar power is fine, but let's not use it for heating and cooling. I can run my heat pump on a solar generator. What a concept! Just saying. The mainstream media is not telling you the story. They got a narrative, and these elites are snowballing everybody, trying to make them believe the bullshit that they are spreading. It ain't Russia, Russia, Russia. It's the stupidity of the politicians that we keep electing around the world, including here in the United States. Pinball out.